မင်္ဂလာပါရှင် Sunday with Mindful Burma ကနေပြန်လည်ကြိုဆိုလိုက်ပါတယ်။တဘာဝပတ်ဝန်းကျင်နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့လေ့လာလို့ရတဲ့ဘာသာရပ်တွေကို Mindful Burma ရဲ့ Facebook မှာရော Instagram မှာရော Telegram Channel မှာဖော်ပြပေးနေပါတယ်။ကိုကတဘာဝပတ်ဝန်းကျင်နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဘွဲကြိုဘွဲလွန်တွေပါတက်ဖို့စိတ်ဝင်စားရဆိုရင်တွားပြီးတော့ဖတ်ကြည့်ကြပါ Description မှာ link လေးချပေးထားပါမယ်နော်။အဲ့ဒီပညာရေးပိုင်းနဲ့ဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့ဒီနေ့အစီအစဉ်မှာချစ်တော်ကအထူးဧည့်သည်တူကိုလည်းဖိတ်ကြားထားပါတယ်ရှင်။သူကတော့ဖိလစ်ပိုင်နိုင်ငံသူလေး Tricia Firman မှာကဲဒါဆိုရင် Tricia ရဲ့အကြောင်းလေးကိုနားဆင်ကြည့်အောင်နော် Hello Trish, long time no see.
Hi Chit, so nice to see you.
Yeah, so you're doing amazing in environmental education and I feel like it will be amazing to learn from you. So could you please introduce yourself?
So hi everyone, my name is Tricia. I am a teacher here in the Philippines. Currently, I'm just doing that and I'm working with our student volunteers as well in the university. And on the side, I do have my non-government organization, which we call Schools for the Planet, which I'll be sharing a lot later on.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of Schools for the Planet. May I know where you started and what you studied?
Yeah, sure. So as you heard earlier, I did say I'm currently teaching in a university. So yes, my background was that I graduated in an educational course in the Philippines, specifically in Ateneo de Davao. And my major was actually English. So it's secondary education English. So I mean, I love that we're having this conversation because when I tell people that I work in conservation, but then my background is teaching, they always get surprised. They're like, "Oh, really? You're an English teacher, but you're doing conservation work?" And to me, that is always that's a very good surprise. You know. Apart from that, I'm also a YCL fellow, very recent YCL fellow. I was with you, Chit. We went to Hawaii just last 2022, but we have been working with YCL since 2020. So that's really, to me, that's one of my major experiences in in conservation as in general, and it really has been very helpful with how I do environmental education in the Philippines.
Oh, I see. So mostly it's related to YCL program. Could you please elaborate more on it? Like how it started?
Yeah, so before YCL, well, YCL really started everything for me. And it all started not with the academic fellowship program, but with a program called CCAMP. Sea and Earth Advocates Camp.
Yeah.
It's also a YCL regional workshop, but it's it's from the Philippines and it's organized by a Filipina named Ana Oposa. Ana Oposa is actually the founder of an environmental organization in the Philippines called Save Philippine Seas. And the great thing about Ana is that she's also someone who does not have a science background. She graduated, I think it was like AB English, like she was just studying English in the university, and then all of a sudden she found like a greater purpose in conservation. And I think, you know, having her as a mentor, like she doesn't know that she's my mentor because I'm very shy to like tell her, you know, but she inspires me a lot. But you know, like seeing someone and my very first experience that, you know, oh, this person does not have a science background, but she's so amazing in what she's doing for the environment. So maybe I can do that too. So like that's where it all started for me. And of course, YCL came, and you know, there were other organizations that I was also able to volunteer in. One of them is founded by a friend of mine, Amiel Lopez. The organization is called Jezebel. It's like Jezebel is the name of a local mermaid here in the Philippines. We have a show about mermaids and the name's Jezebel, so she just named it after that. Jezebel is working with indigenous communities for the environment. Yeah, because Amiel is also not someone with a science background, although he is a science teacher, but he's more of education. But he's then working for the environment. Um, but anyway, going to my current experiences, what I'm really working on right now and what I'm so busy with is really Schools for the Planet. So Schools for the Planet is the baby that we have created during the pandemic at around 2021. Actually, Chit, you were a huge part of Schools for the Planet because we
Yeah.
were supposed to do the project together, right?
Yeah, together
But
from Myanmar and
yeah, but
Philippines. Yeah.
yeah, yes, it was supposed to be like that. But of course, things happen, and we didn't really expect that to happen, But still grateful that you're still able to continue Schools for the Planet. So it started off as just like a program to encourage students to be more into conservation, but then we then decided, you know what, why not we make it into an NGO, we'll make a real organization that really just focuses on schools, like enhancing and encouraging more students to be, you know, to be mindful about the earth, to act more for the planet. So that was really like the main goal of Schools for the Planet. So right now, what we're busy with is actually just trying to have the organization registered in the Philippines so that we can partner with bigger organizations and we can send in grants so that they'll trust us because we're finally registered,
Yeah, true.
What I'm doing right now is I'm actually inviting some of my close friends who are also teachers to be part of the organization because they're teachers who are also interested in conservation, and I'm like, yeah, come in. I need everyone's help here. And what's also great about this is we have someone as well, um although not everyone are teachers. We have someone from the chemistry department. We have a chemist in our group, but she's not doing chemistry things in the organization. She's doing environmental conservation things, and but just bringing in her science background. So anyway, I'm doing those things for Schools for the Planet, just building the organization for now. We do have some partner schools that we're planning to engage in this year, and we'll begin by really co-creating programs with teachers. Like, we go to the schools and we'll ask them, so, what are your programs for conservation in the school, and how has it been effective? Do you need help with anything? Maybe we can assist and like make it more vibrant, encourage more students to be a conservationist. So that's like a basic gist of what we're planning to do. And once we've identified what they need, we will be creating those things with them. So we're not coming there and saying, "Oh, you guys are doing this wrong and you don't know how to do it," and we're the only ones to know to. We're not gonna do that because
Yeah,
that's not
that's
the right thing to do,
important.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, we've been taught about that in YCL, right? You have to come in, and you don't come in as a hero, but you come in as like a friend, a companion who will journey with the community in creating the program that you think or that they also believe will work for them. Yeah, so guess that's what we're working on so far.
So do you think your university degree has been a help in this work?
Yes, but at the very beginning, I didn't really think so because I've always felt this insecurity in conservation work because I am not from a science background, and I actually mentioned this in the when we were back in Hawaii, when I think I had a conversation with Kak, with Ama, and I was like, Kak, I feel I feel like I don't belong here because I don't do research, and I'm not a marine biologist. I don't have a marine background,
I think
and yeah.
it's like imposter syndrome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Like, why am I even in this room? Like, I look at you guys and you're like, you're talking about your research work, you're talking about all these great things that you're doing, and I try to look at myself and say, okay, as a teacher, like, do I have a space in the room? And Kat did tell me, she said, yeah, of course, you have a space in the room. I mean, look at me, I'm here. And Kat is actually an attorney, right? She used to study law. She was a law student. And she was like, look at me, I'm a law student, but I'm here in this room and we're talking about environmental research. And you don't really have to have that background. You just have to have that interest. But going back to your question, has it been helpful? Yes, definitely. It has been helpful because what I did with my degree and my interest in conservation was that I like combined it together because it was interesting to combine education and environment. And actually, education is really very what's the word? It's very versatile. Like you can pair it with different disciplines, and so definitely it was very. I found it very important to bring in my degree in education in environment. I want to go very specific here, because I was not just an education student. I was also an English teacher. So I mean that's a difficult thing. Like how am I, in English, how am I gonna, connect it to the environment? And at first, like I didn't know, right? Like
Yeah,
how does it, like how is teaching grammar related to the environment? So, I didn't
I can
I don't
relate.
know.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
What am I doing here? But then, if you think about English, there's a lot about the subject. Like it's not just about language and grammar, but there's also literature. So I guess that's how I found a way to like weave it together because I really love reading. I have a lot of books at home and I also love writing stories. I was like, all right, okay, what if I create a story about the environment? I mean, about like the environment here in our community, in our city, and just make a story about that. And we will use that story when we go to the coastal communities. And it worked. So when I was in the sea camp, they gave me a grant for that project. The project is called Mermaid Tales. So I wrote a story about two mermaids who were visiting coastal communities because they were having problems underwater. Like there's so much trash, fisher folks were using dynamite or not using the right kind of nets. They're stepping on the coral. So like I incorporated environmental concerns and issues in the city into the storybook that I was creating. So that was how I sort of like that's how my university degree sort of helped me working in the environmental field. And we also plan to continue that with cultural planning.
So can we say that it's a like unique combination?
Yes, truly unique. It's very unique. Yeah. But right now I'm seeing like an increase in people who like do not have a background in environment or in conservation or in science, and they're taking an interest in sustainability and conservation, right? And they're creating lots of stories. So like, but maybe back then it felt like it was something unique, but right now I'm so happy it's starting to like build, it's the numbers are growing, there are more people, getting interested into it. But definitely, like in the Philippines, we're still encouraging a lot of the teachers, the young teachers, to really have an interest in conservation. Because as of now, in my small group community, I know it's just me. So I don't know. Maybe, of course, in the other schools there could be someone, but in our small community, there aren't a lot yet. So I'm still working on like training, mentoring a lot of other young teachers.
You can be a inspirational figure, you know.
I'm working on it.
So, do you have any other conservation walks you want to share?
Recently, I worked with the Department of Education in the Philippines with another YCL fellow who's like older than me. And we have created learning materials about climate change for the Philippines. So that has been, in terms of climate change, that has been the most intensive work that I've ever been part of, because we had to like review like modules about climate change. And I don't have a lot of background on that. I only have read a few things, but that really helped me understand climate change on a deeper level. And we also had to train other teachers, like public school teachers, to teach the climate change modules to their students. So that's one of the things that I've been most involved in. I'm also still a board member of the organization I told you earlier, the Jezebel one. I'm a part of it. Whenever they have like educational related concerns or projects, they tap me, they consult me about it, and I also, of course, help them. And there is also a project that I'm currently working on with another fellow in our cohort. I'm not gonna spill it yet because we don't know if we got the grant, but it is someone we're both close with.
Okay.
and and I'm hoping, yeah, if she does get the grant, we can do the project together. And it is also in relation to environmental education. We will be creating learning materials for the students in our respective countries.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, do you have any program at Tools for the Planet that Myanmar students can join?
As of the
Um,
moment,
yeah.
there was really, I mean, that was the initial plan, right? I mean, we created like the virtual institute so that students from Myanmar and students from the Philippines could like meet and like have a discussion
Yeah.
about conservation.
Yeah.
As of the moment, we have not done the second part of that, but I would be very interested to collaborate with you again and for
Um,
us to like create a space for like Myanmar students and Philippine students to, you know, um, have the conversation or have the training about, conservation. Right now I feel like Schools for the Planet is really just like at the starting part of it. I mean, we've done projects already, but it's like I wanted to take a step back and really like build a proper team. We also plan to rebrand actually this year. And apart from that, we're really looking for like solid partners and collaborators, which of course, I know that my YCD fellows are very supportive, and I can just chat you guys if you guys want to collaborate. So, as of now, there's nothing yet along those lines, but I am very interested to have an opportunity to interact and engage with our students or even like young professionals in Myanmar.
yeah. So, the origin of one was to collaborate. I think it was in 2021 February, and the coup happened, so we couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I think maybe we can do it, and we can talk about it later. Yeah.
Yes, I'd love that.
Yeah. We are almost out of questions. And what kind of suggestions do you want to give to future students who want to pursue the education?
I guess for me, don't feel so limited with your course. Like just because you're studying to be an English teacher doesn't mean that you just have to be an English teacher all your life. This is something I share with my students as well. I tell them, I know you're a teacher and like you're teaching math or you're teaching science, you're teaching English, you're teaching physical education. You don't have to just be limited in that space. There's so many other things you can also do, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. Like if you're passionate about makeup, you can be a math teacher who's also a makeup guru, or you can be like a science teacher who's very much into K-pop and like is advocating for music and art. Like you can be so many things, and then that advice really worked on me as someone who thought that my whole life I would just be in the classroom teaching literature, teaching grammar. But I found myself, in Hawaii, and I'm learning about the environment, and I went back to the Philippines, and I'm teaching students how to also, appreciate the environment and do the same thing. So, don't limit yourself. Try to explore so many different paths and try to see what works for you. And if it works for you and you're happy about it, then, keep doing it. Keep exploring, find people that are also interested in the same things, and, build a career out of it. Yeah.
I think that must have been a suggestion you want to tell your young self too.
Yes, definitely. If I could talk to younger me, I would tell her that.
Yeah,
Don't feel too
true.
bad. Yeah.
So, do you have any additional messages do you want to tell like add-ons?
I guess this is just to everyone in general, not just to like young teachers. Like even if your background isn't necessarily science or conservation related, totally fine. If you are a lover of the environment and you want to do something about it, there is always a way for your university degree to be of use when you are working for the planet, when you're working for conservation. So don't be like me who felt very left out, who felt the imposter syndrome when I was actually when other people actually believed in me and actually believed that I can contribute something to the conversation on conservation. So, I really do hope that you would also believe in yourself, that you have a space at the table to share about what you can do for the planet.
You've been so amazing since I met you, like maybe in 2020. And it's been an
Thank you.
inspirational figure for me since then. And also like a mentor.
Like a teacher.
Yeah, like a teacher. I've asked a lot of help from you, and yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for setting aside some time to be a guest on Sunday with Mindful Burma.
No problem. Thanks so much for inviting me. I enjoyed the conversations.
ဖြစ်တာဆိုရင်တော့ဘယ်နဲ့ဘယ်ရမစိုးတဘာပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ထိန်းသိမ်းမှုလှုပ်ဆောင်နိုင်တယ်ကြိုးပမ်းနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတာကိုပို့ပြီးတော့နားလည်သဘောပေါက်လာမယ်ထင်ပါတယ်
Mindful Burma ကသဘာဝပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ထိန်းသိမ်းရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဝေမျှပေးနေတဲ့နေရာလေးတစ်ခုပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီနေ့ Tricia နဲ့ဆွေးနွေးခဲ့တာလေးကိုလည်းနှစ်သက်မယ်လို့မျှော်လင့်ပါတယ်နောက်ပတ်တွေမှာလည်းဘလို့စိတ်ဝင်စားစရာကောင်းတဲ့အကြောင်းအရာတွေကိုတင်ဆက်ပေးသွားမယ်လို့ဆိုတာ Sunday with Mindful Burma ကိုစောင့်မျှော်နားဆင်ကြည့်ပါအောင်နော်